Welcome to the Track Talk Podcast, an in-depth look at popular songs. My name is Matty Margallo, and I'm a singer, songwriter, producer, and a music lover. I'll be your guide this week as we talk about this week's track, the iconic, fabulous, the Queen, Beyonce's Pray You Catch Me. Every episode, we're going to provide you with analysis on a track from a music production and lyrical level to its social significance and legacy. But it won't be just me yapping at you about music. We will also have a weekly guest host to help me do it. This week, we have singer, dancer, actor, the multi-threat talent, and my musical soulmate, Mitchell Johnson. Mitchell, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? I love the musical soulmate part of it.
I've always said for years since we ever met and we've always kind of jammed and played. I was like, God, Mitchell's like the one person who gets me when it comes to like music and jamming. And we used to like go to like open mics and stuff and like jam out hard too.
Last minute
jam out. Like, oh, you know this song? I know that song. Great.
Like, okay.
Hey, let's make up a song.
On the spot. Yeah. That's actually the song that I want to do. If we can bring back the wine song.
Oh my God. The classic.
Yeah, the classic. Everyone loves it. I've been getting letters week after week about it. It's crazy.
So Mitchell, thank you for getting some time in for us. I know it's you're getting busier and busier, which is awesome.
So busy.
But why don't we kind of just start with a little bit of like your musical background? You're a very musical person, so like where does all that come from for you?
I started really in high school. Well, I can take that back. I started in middle school. There's a lot of like little productions that we were doing, Christmas shows and stuff. I was also like in the children's boy choir. From Houston, Texas originally. So our Houston's boy choir was kind of like a big deal in the South. So being a part of that was like
how big was that choir?
It was like probably like 40 kids.
Okay.
Like 40 boys. Maybe like and they fluctuate. Like
right.
Filtering in and out. Some kids are never there. Whatever. Around 40 consistently. And then I feel like my claim to fame was 6th grade. Our school would always put on a musical, but it was made by the kids. So it was written by the kids. The music, the stage production was all the kids. That's the like so direction.
Yeah.
Everything was done by us kids.
That's super impressive because it's something we were just talking about. Like you shouldn't be just a singer. You shouldn't be just an actor, just a musician. You should be able to do it all. Producing, writing. Mm-hmm. And
coming up with the name of the production company, making T-shirts,
the business
like all of that.
End of
the
it.
Business
like
end,
I think all that's super important, and that's really cool that they kind of instilled that at a young age. Because people would be like, arts is all just creative stuff. It's like, well, no,
look how much it takes.
It takes a lot more. It takes being organized, and you need leadership and teamwork and all that stuff. So that's super fascinating.
Yeah, it was cool.
Did you do any productions in high school?
Yeah, in high school as well too. High school is really my big when I got into music. Because like freshman year, I went to an all boys high school, and across the street was an all girls high school. And then I was doing like track and like football freshman year, and then at the end of that year, I tried out for this like this singing group. It wasn't choir too, but like
it was like a subgroup of the choir or something. Okay.
Yeah, so this is like a subgroup that I tried out for called the Triple Trio, and so it was. Oh my gosh, why can't I think of 9 guys and 9 girls?
Oh, because the two schools were interacting like as far as kind of like
classes.
Okay, I see.
After school activities,
gotcha.
extracurriculars. So I tried out for that, and I got it, and I was like, "This is cool. Forget about sports,
right.
Like I'm over that." Also, can we cuss? I don't want to like.
Go ahead and cuss. I think any actual cussing we've had has been very mild. So if you keep it mild, cool. If you do, we'll just bleep it out or something.
I'm not gonna say anything bad. Maybe I should just list off all the cuss words I do like right now.
So here's the ones that you can't say.
Oh, that was kind of like a good tip. Yeah, just full circle.
Comes back to music, baby.
Music.
So you were in that group. Was that all through high school as well?
Yeah, that was all through high school. And we would do separate sections. We would perform the choir. So I was doing musicals and stuff all through them.
That's great.
getting leads, being choir president. We were performing at the Renaissance Festival.
Overachiever.
Yeah. Just
Total
overachieving.
overachiever.
Yeah, and then I ended up going to college for music as well too.
Right, I knew that. And you studied just as a vocalist,
yeah, just vocal performance.
Gotcha.
I was doing that.
Gotcha.
And I was doing it as like a full major.
Where was that at?
I was at St. Louis University.
St. Louis University. Okay, cool.
In St. Louis, Missouri. And so I was doing that for a bit, and I was going to go on the track of like being an opera singer. And then I started dancing in college. It's like,
wow, you started kind of seriously dancing only in college.
Yeah.
I thought you had been doing that all your life too.
I was doing that like a little bit in high school. Like I started when I was like 15, really. Like, and I would say professionally because we would do shows and gigs and stuff. But it was just hard to keep doing that. So I had stopped like for like probably the last 2 years of high school. I wasn't really doing it.
Right.
And
then you kind of picked it back up.
Then I picked it back up. Yeah.
Cool.
In college. And that was like just for like a dance group at college.
Right.
Yeah.
I told you multi-threat. This
guy.
with the talent, everything.
Now I do musicals in college too.
You did musicals there. Were you any bands or anything, or was mostly kind of musicals and that kind of stuff?
Let me tell you about the first band I was in. It was like in high school, like right beginning of high school, from friends I knew from middle school. We were called Brains for Dinner.
Okay, I'm already interested in this.
Yeah, and we were a reggae band.
What?
I was the only black guy.
What?
And everyone else was white. And I loved it.
Really?
I loved it.
Were you guys doing original stuff?
Yeah,
covers?
original stuff.
Original's cool.
And it's like, I kind of got into the band afterwards. Like, oh, you can sing. Let's go get them in the band. I'm like, cool. So they already had stuff written. So I never actually wrote stuff.
Right. But the music was all kind of
original music was there.
That's
and
cool.
I loved it because I thought it was so cool that, like, that's a thing you can do. Like, you can actually, like, write music and perform it yourself.
It's a weird thing when you are a singer and you realize you can also, you don't have to just sing songs. Like, you can have original music that people haven't heard, which is a super, like, kind of, when you really think about it, like, it's totally like a thing. It's like, man, people are listening and liking stuff I wrote. It's super crazy. So that was the first band. Have you been in any other bands since then?
Yeah, in college I was kind of in one. We performed like really randomly. So it wasn't anything like crazy. It was a lot for like just like mini things at school for like
different events.
Different events at school. It wasn't like anything crazy though. But I was in an a cappella group.
Yes, that's our second a cappella. Another guest of ours was also
a cappella for life. Yeah.
What was the name of your a cappella group?
We were the Bare Naked Statues.
I like that name.
Yeah.
A cappella groups usually have like crazy names.
Yeah, it was only because our school's campus had a whole bunch of like naked statues on it. So
weird.
They started slowly taking them away, but when the group was founded, there was like just a shit ton.
That was like a total thing.
Yeah, they're like, why? So
did you guys do all the kind of like cheesy like a cappella tunes and stuff and dance moves? Okay, perfect.
But once I got in the group and I got control of the dancing, best believe. Let me just tell you, we did the thong song.
Oh, no way!
Just riveting performance.
That's amazing.
Because I was in a dance group as well too at the same time, and so I would bring my dancers out to do it. So I'd teach like the guys choreo, the simple stuff, and then I have my dancers.
Dumps like a truck.
Yeah, I had to show it to you. It's so
amazing.
Funny. When I look back at it now, like when I was doing it, I'm like, this is iconic. This is
so
what's gonna
good.
make us like stardom. My two groups combined as one. This is brilliant. Everyone's gonna fucking love it. And then when I went back and watched it on YouTube, I'm like, this is a piece of shit.
This is so bad.
This is terrible. Delete it from YouTube immediately.
So
I am ashamed that it's not me. Yeah.
That's
amazing. Funny looking back.
I love that so much.
Yeah.
So nowadays, musically, what are you getting into?
Musically, I'm getting into more of the world of original comedy music videos. So the esque of like, Lonely Island, even like Little Dicky.
Right.
That kind of
we've worked together on a couple of projects.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
it's that's a great little market, especially with the way viral videos is kind of the thing. Like if you can get one of those really nailed and get hits, I guess, or views is kind of the big thing, and shares and likes, like that's kind of a big thing. Can you listen on maybe the next big comedy project, or we're holding off right now? We're under wraps.
Oh, I'm only holding out just in case it doesn't come through.
What was the last?
The last song we did, it was a song called "Cheat Day," and it was about you've been working out this whole time and you finally get that one day to indulge in all the foods you've been missing out on, and you need to live it like it's your moment. And it's probably one of the best songs I've ever written in my life. The music video is so much.
Well, how about this?
You can buy it on iTunes.
We'll post all the links for that on like our Facebook and Twitter, so you can check it out. So.
Yeah, it's great. Everyone will enjoy it.
That's great. I love that, and it's original music, and it's a totally different market than just being kind of an independent artist. You're just putting out music with a group of people, and you got some really talented people that you're working with as well. So
we're rolling deep.
Yeah, and Mark's there, and my buddy Eddie, who plays guitar, is
like a
genius on guitar. I think we'll get him on the show, on the podcast, and then we'll just have him shred. Actually, we'll have him shred for the whole podcast. The whole thing, yeah. We won't even talk. We'll be like, all right, Eddie, take it away.
Let's take it. All right. 100%. I listen to it all
so
the time.
good.
I love it. Can't get old.
So, when I was texting you earlier this week, I was like, hey, love for you to just pick a song. You went with this Beyonce song, Pray You Catch Me.
Yeah.
What does this song kind of mean to you, and what does kind of Beyonce mean to you? I know that you're kind of a fan, aren't you? You like Beyonce.
She's like cool. It's like, it's like talented, I guess. I don't know. I mean, she is my Lord and Savior and Queen.
Yes.
I am obsessed with her. I was actually mad I didn't get to see her concert for the second time.
She just played here in LA at the Dodger Stadium, right?
Yeah.
Just recently. Yeah.
I saw the Formation tour when it was first here.
When it first came through, yeah. Is she on the kind of the last leg of that tour?
I think it might be the final show today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She works hard, so she needs a little rest.
Yeah, she's just a little breather. But Beyonce means everything to me.
Well, you're from Houston.
Yes.
Beyonce's from Houston with Destiny's Child. They were based out of Houston.
I got an argument with someone yesterday who was like, I just don't really get Beyonce. I'm more of a Rihanna fan. Like, I get that, but you're wrong.
So, is that the camps? Is that usually what people are? Like, it's usually Beyonce or Rihanna?
Yeah,
and
they're really two different types of people.
They're definitely two different types.
Like, everyone always
like,
appreciates the other, but it's like Beyonce for the main ones. It's like Beyonce, Rihanna, and then the Britney fans are like, I'm Britney, but
that's not Beyonce.
But it's like, poor Britney. Like she didn't want to be doing this anymore, guys. Stop cheering her on. She's trying to just hang out with her kids. We're doing this. We did this to her, and we're keep doing this to her. It's so sad. Too much control. Back to my love for Beyonce. Yeah. So I'm from Houston,
right?
And I feel like I just get her. It's the same aspect of being raised around predominantly white and kind of bougie people as well too, but having family living in the ghetto and just understanding just where we come from, that same thing. So that's why I love her Beyonce side. I have a fucking Beyonce side, but really I'm on more of the poppy, fun, sexy side. She just has so many dynamics.
She's very dynamical. I was about to say dynamical. I'll go dynamical. She's very dynamic as an artist. Yeah. From this attitude diva type, right, all the way to this sexy, sensual performer. Yeah.
She just innocent, bearing her soul, vulnerable.
She can do it all, and it's all very, very. I don't even want to say believable. I believe it. It's it's all very genuine, and real. So yeah, she's really great.
Yeah,
I mean, we could absolutely do a whole podcast on her.
And I think we should. And I think that's what we should just do this for. What you need 24, 38 hours?
I'll let, as long as my computer can still record this. How about that?
Better plug that charger in, Hunty, because we are about to go until tomorrow.
What made you go with "Pray You Catch Me"?
It's the first track on her on the Lemonade album.
Lemonade album, sixth studio album I got here, and you mentioned visual album. On the day it was released, there was an HBO 60-minute film I guess, with all this music as well.
Yeah.
And that was kind of a big thing, right?
Yeah. That was, I mean, and she had did that before, you know, last time she had dropped an album just like, oh, I wonder what Beyonce's doing. Oh gosh, there's an album out and then there's videos to go along with every song.
Doesn't that seem like that's a thing now?
That is
like
so
and I think that
now.
may have started with her that first time around of just like,
I'm sure there's someone else and someone will correct me.
Yeah,
like a mean tweet about it.
Actually, tweet us at the Track Talk Pod if we're wrong.
Yeah,
and
tag me at mjohn116. I'm curious. Let me know. But
let us know.
But
I'm
not.
pretty sure Beyonce was the start of that. But it's such a thing. Frank Ocean did it earlier this year. A couple years ago, one of my favorites, D'Angelo, just dropped one after 15 years. Just dropped this record out of nowhere. So it's like, it's kind of fun and it's kind of shocking because at the end of it, these artists aren't making that much money off the records anyway.
Yeah,
they're making the money off touring.
So why not make it like?
So why not just make it this fun treat for people when it comes out and then it just hits the shelves and people forget it? Because it used to be like coming soon, available on this day, like when these records are coming out. Now it's like, yeah, you're just kind of thinking about like, man, Beyonce hasn't released anything lately. Bam, Formation. Whoa, I'm sorry.
Yeah, like you just wake up one morning and there's a whole album waiting for you. And like, I can't.
That's a cool feeling.
Such a cool feeling.
Yeah, it's super cool. Yeah,
that's I'm kind of mad that like Lady Gaga didn't do that. Like now we kind of like know that things are coming
building
out.
up to it. So,
but instead of because the build is what kind of leads you up for like failure.
Total failure. Because
like,
if it doesn't meet your expectations,
it's fine.
Yeah,
and then like you don't. It can be great if even if it's just fine if you don't build up the wrong expectations.
Yeah, because you weren't even expecting it in the first place. But so that record was recorded from January 2014 to 2016. So it was over almost like a 2-year period she was working on that particular album, Lemonade. A couple of the singles from Lemonade was Formation, which she performed at the Super Bowl, like premiered basically at the Super Bowl this year.
She had randomly just dropped a video of that first.
That's right.
And then you didn't have the song individually, just like
it was just a video.
You won't have the single.
It's what a cool like marketing thing. That's such a great thing. Hold Up, Freedom. And Sorry. I want to talk about Sorry just a little bit.
I'm sorry.
Sorry had a little bit of controversy with it with the line Becky with the good hair. So this is this thing of like, the only reason I want to mention this is because this is this thing where an artist will like, I don't want to go into, you know, their marriage relationship or Jay-Z's supposed infidelity or whatever. But it's that thing of like an artist will say something in their lyric and people like are like, is it like legit? Is it part of the story? Theories and controversy. Do you think that just is a very on purpose thing by these writers and by the artists to like just get people talking?
100%. If you're looking at if Lemonade was written over 2 years, 2014, 2016, you best believe thought was put into that.
Yeah.
And it's not like because you can put out a song like that real quick. If you're just angry, but you just produce it, you write it, and you throw it out because you're in that mood. Smart bitches have time to think about that. They're not just gonna throw that out there and just be like, I don't care, whatever.
Right. It's like, a very like, this is what happened.
It's because like, and the whole album's just it's that flow through relationship, whatever the ups and downs, and it's just like.
It seems very honest, the whole record, and that seems to be the.
And so that's the one song was like. Let's give them something to talk about.
Right.
It's like because
and it was I think it was the second single release from that record too. So it was like,
well, honestly, because that album, like when it came out, I was like, none of these songs are gonna play on the radio. I don't know how any of these songs are gonna play the radio, except like 6 Inch. 6 Inch is the only one I was like, I can play because the Weeknd's in it. It's a collaboration,
right?
But all the other songs, I'm like, I can't hear these on the radio. It's gonna be weird, like hearing these songs out. But then. Then Sorry came out. I was like, okay, it makes sense because it's kind of like fun,
right? But it works.
But it works. It works. But it was meant to be a story in the album.
Right.
You put that in there to complete the story. You don't put that in there just because you're trying to call someone out.
Right. But
she's not.
But people are definitely want to like look into it more like
100%.
that.
But when people want to do that too, so you're like, you know what they'll eat up.
They'll eat
better
this.
Call Becky with the good hair. Let's say it again. It's like
that's the session though. They're like they're brainstorming. They're like, yo, people are gonna eat this up.
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
like, and they think about it first and like, can we do this? What's the repercussions? Like who would get affected by this?
Yeah.
who's gonna get offended by using the term Becky? It's it's like whatever. It's like, I mean, they think about that because they have to, because it's her fan base is fucking huge, and so
and then even just like critics and pundits who are just like just listening to her stuff could be like, oh, it means this and that or whatever, and
but it gets people to talk about it. It does that exactly.
Isn't it the idea of like any press is good press, bad or good? Like it's that kind of idea. Like let's just get people talking. And I guess there's not much talking you need to do for Beyonce though, but why not just add more fuel to the fire?
Yeah, and because that's what people do. Anyone who's like on that fame level, it's just like one thing happens, we can talk about it for days.
Right.
Like you can just.
I do like that it's very like when you talk about Beyonce, it's very focused on like her music and her performance. It's never really about a lot of the outside stuff, because there are a lot of
she's been pretty good at
just kind of the personal private life stuff has been very personal and private. But if you put it in the music, people are gonna try to reach and grab
like
at
home videos like in the album, like in the visual album.
Right.
So she puts like that personal level, like that she feels like I would like
she
to
would feel
connect with
comfortable
you.
enough, at least revealing to fans and the world. So that's really amazing stuff. Kind of want to go into just a little bit about the personnel on this. Written by Kevin Garrett, James Blake, and Beyonce. So Kevin Garrett is the artist you introduced me to this past year, and he's this fantastic like R&B kind of soul singer. I don't know where he's from. He's from LA,
New York, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. When I last saw him, his voice was so good, and the songs were so touching.
Yeah,
and it really plays into this song, "Pray You Catch Me."
Yeah, that's what's so crazy, because the first time I heard the album, that's the first song on the album I listened to, and I was like, I am in it. I get what you're doing, Beyonce. This song is everything. I just feel it. And then after the whole thing ended, looking at credits, I'm like, oh, who wrote these songs? What?
Yeah.
Kevin Garrett. That's why I love it so much.
That's why you're into it so much. And then James Blake is on there, and there's so much of his like.
And he has another song on there too. James Blake has another song that
on the record too. Yeah.
And it's just him, which is crazy. And then Beyonce comes in at the end. It's a 1 minute track. And I can't think of the song.
Oh, you know what? I have heard that one.
It's like super quick, and I'm just like, it's
like
so
a
James
interlude.
Blakey.
Well, James Blake has a very signature type of sound, and that signature sound is in "Pray You Catch Me."
Yeah,
it's got all those kind of like signature James Blake production stuff, and he fits right in the same lane as Kevin Garrett. So it's like this perfect harmonious thing when you get all three of them together, and it's just like it's that thing of like I love James Blake stuff, I love Kevin Garrett stuff. Man, I wonder what it'd be like to hear a female vocalist on this. And it's like, oh, man, you got great. Beyonce to do this?
Yeah. So, I didn't mean Beyonce.
I just meant like, a female singer, but okay, that's crazy.
Cool.
But like, that makes me so happy as like, personally a James Blake fan and a Kevin Garrett fan that like Beyonce and her people recognize the talent of these guys who are like, in their own rights, pretty popular amongst certain circles, but now put them to majorly high levels of working with the top talents. The top talent.
Top
on the radio and just kind of in popular music. So it's just super cool to be like that kind of douchey fan who's like, well, I was listening to James Blake on that first record.
Oh, but I totally was like that.
But we totally saw Kevin Garrett at Hotel Cafe like 2 years ago. Like, I kind of like feel like I told you so. These guys were legit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. It just kind of makes me smile a little bit especially when I was researching and I found out they were involved on this record.
It makes me happy that we just like that we're appreciating these artists and they actually get a chance to like go further with their art. Yeah, like we saw something in them, someone else saw something in them. It's like cool they're getting these opportunities.
Well, and for Beyonce and her people to be like, these guys have exactly what you need for this next record. That's such like that must have been just the most crazy.
It's a pretty cool team with her then too. To be able to be able to seek that out because I'm sure they found them before. I guess they found them.
They probably had their ears out. They probably always have their ears out for talent like that to bring in to work with her because they're like, we need to make sure she's always relevant and she's not only with what the trends are, she's setting the trends. And that's kind of the idea of like bringing all these different producers and writers and talents. It's really fascinating.
To push those trends through.
Push the trends through. She's a trendsetter, and that's what she does. I would love to go into the lyrics of Pray You Catch Me. Basically, what I want to do is kind of go through just kind of verse by verse, and we'll kind of discuss a little bit. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
So, Pray You Catch Me. You can taste the dishonesty. It's all over your breath as you pass it over so cavalier, but even that's a test. What are you getting from that line right there?
Just dead. I'm just dead. Literally, when I first heard this too, like just that, it just starts with you can taste the dishonesty. Like that.
It's setting the tone for this thing, the whole record, because this is the first track.
And also, like, I know we're just talking about lyrics, but just because it starts with just that like piano at the beginning,
yeah,
it has like this gospel-y feel, where it's like, I'm about to preach real quick in a way that is like most vulnerable state.
It's opening those doors to let these lyrics fly.
And it's like, pray you catch me, but put a little gospel piano on it. Like, I get I get what you're doing. Like, and it's working.
So you can taste it on it. It's all over your breath. You pass it off so cavalier, but even that's a test. Oh my gosh.
It's just like, this whole thing is just about the dishonesty in a relationship as well too.
And sometimes to get away with the dishonesty, people will just be like over the top and cavalier to try to sell the lie.
Yeah, sell the lie. Yeah, even that much more. But like, it's like, okay, in the test line too is like, but even that's the test. It's for both sides of the relationship as well too. It's like he's testing to see how far he can get away with it,
right? And
then like, this is also a test for me to see if I even recognize it as well too. It's like what you're doing. You're testing
it's
me
totally
to be
a
like,
double edge.
are you seeing that? And I'm like, in this same test, like, oh my god,
so good. Next line. Constantly aware of it all, my lonely ear pressed against the walls of your world. Man.
Duh.
Like, this is so it's so good. I'll tell you why, because
this whole thing just be me just being like, yes. Next slide. Yes.
On this podcast, whenever we go into lyrics, I'm such a fan of like creating this visceral visual world with just the lyric. That's one of my favorite things in the world, and this is hitting that on the spot.
100%.
It's so good.
Just constantly aware of it, because like, when you're at that point in a relationship where like things aren't what they used to be, and you're just like, I know things have changed, and I honestly like, I see what's going on, but I'm blinded because like I want to hold on to the relationship, but only I'm trying at this point.
That's
why it's like my lonely ear, because I'm the only one trying. You're clearly not trying, and I'm trying to like.
That could also come as I'm the only one listening too.
Yeah, I'm the only listening. Like, if you're not listening to what I'm saying, like how are we actually like a team in this aspect?
And then press against the walls of your world. That's just so great.
Just like just listen.
Just you can
the
in your
fact
head
of you listening in on
in.
something. Because think of what that is. Anytime you're actually listening in on a conversation, you are outside of it. You're not
always,
a part.
On that, you're always outside of it. You're always outside of it, and you create. And the thing is, you create your own kind of like story, because you don't know all of what's going on. But you, in your mind, you're creating your own
100%
like story and background to what's happening in that little bit of the conversation.
Think about like when you're younger, you hear your parents arguing in the room, and like you're in your room, and you're kind of like listening to what they're saying. Like it just from tone, you feel like you hear one thing, but honestly, they could be fine. Like that's just how they're like bringing things out. Or it can be the other way, where you're hearing stuff. It's like,
oh, it's not that big a deal.
It's not that big a deal, but it could be.
It could be.
So you are creating your own mindset. You're alone in this because you're alone in your own thought.
It's totally,
and it's his world, which is so messed up, because it should be yours together
of your world. Here's that chorus: pray to catch you whispering. I pray you catch me listening. I'm praying to catch you whispering. I pray you catch me.
And like just the back and forth between pray to catch you, like I'm trying to catch you whispering. I'm just trying to like hear the slightest bit of truth from you. I pray you catch me listening, because I am sitting in like, I don't want to be the one, like I'm vulnerable in this state. Like you should be the one listening to me. You should be understanding.
You should know that I'm here as well. Repeats that line: I'm praying to catch you whispering. I pray you catch me listening. I pray you catch me. Goes into the second verse here. Nothing else seems to hurt like the smile on your face. You when it's only in my memory, it don't hit me quite the same. Ooh.
This is where like I'm gonna just start cussing because I just want to just drop the F-bomb just because it's just like, like what the hell, Beyonce? And really Kevin, because he's writing this. Because if you listen to Kevin Garrett's like,
it's a lot
his
of
lyrics,
hurt.
just pain. I'm like, what
he
happened?
makes that joke. You know, when he's playing live, he's like, okay, here's some more sad songs. And then he'll start playing. I'm like,
that's your really good impersonation. That sounds exactly like that. Okay, here's another.
He's very soft spoken, so he's like, all right, here's another sad one. Okay. But
nothing else
she's hurting.
to hurt.
You know,
like
it's
smile
hurting.
on your face.
Yeah.
It's really those lines go together. Because like that line by itself, nothing else seems to hurt like the smile on your face. Yes, because he's lying, he's putting on a face.
Sure.
But when it's only my memory, it doesn't hit me quite the same. Like I remember those good times we had. Yeah, it's like
he's not seeing it.
Anytime you go back on like nostalgia in a short-term relationship is the saddest thing. Because like we should be keeping this up. I should be able to genuinely always appreciate when you smile.
Right.
And if I like don't see that anymore, I have to think back of like these were the good times, and it's like, but that's not. I have to live in the present moment. I can't keep living in the past. Like that's not what growth is in a relationship, and that means we're not growing together.
We're not growing together. Yep. Maybe it's cause for concern, but I'm not at ease. Keeping my head to the curb, man.
Yeah, I get it.
Keep my head to the curb. I feel like I don't quite get that one. Is that kind of just staying just alert or mindful, or what exactly is that?
That's a phrase, I think, like keeping your head to the curb. I hope it's not like, wait, what movie is that where that is like brutal when that guy...
American History X, like the curb.
I think that's what they're talking about.
Yeah, I think they're talking about biting down on the curb and then smashing the face.
Stomping, she's like over it.
Well, I think maybe it's cause for concern, but I'm not at ease keeping my head to the curb. I think that's just saying that she's just trying to keep herself ready to be hurt down the way, because that's all this is sounding like at this point. Like it's bound to happen that, you know, you're gonna feel hurt at the end of this. Yeah. So maybe she's just preparing herself at this point. Oh, 100%. That's definitely kind of what it could be. Once again, pray to catch you whispering. I pray you catch me listening. I pray to catch you whispering. I pray you catch me. I pray you catch me. I pray you catch me. I'm praying you catch me. I have "What are you doing, my love"? Is that a line she kind of
at the end? She just speaks it out.
She speaks it.
What are you doing, my love?
Right. And then it goes right into the next track from there. So it's short. It's only the two verses and the two choruses, and it's almost like it's kind of just like an interlude, kind of like intro.
It's
song,
like an intro interlude,
but it's got enough in there that there's so much substance that you can pull from that, and it sets the tone for the record. Yeah, it really
sets
does.
the tone. Yeah, that's why going in after she's like, oh, "What are you doing, my love?" Yeah, and then it goes through to like, and the song after that is "Hold Up," I think, whatever. So that's it's just kind of it everything that goes through it just sets the tone for the next song. Just the next part of the relationship is like, she knows you're hurting, but it's like, I kind of still want to stick this out. Like, you know, it's a more upbeat song. The next one,
the path that it takes is very the record. It reminds me of Say
it. I hope we're on the same page.
I mean, it might not be, but it reminds me of Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Oh, okay. I would agree with that 100%.
In the sense of like, it's this continuing story all through. That record, that particular album is pretty dope. It's a different thing, though. It's definitely a different thing.
100% different
but
thing.
But they have the same kind of like vibe going through, and I think that's
being able to tell this story and bring it all together.
Song to song.
Really,
song
she
to
might
song.
be the first one to do it. I don't know, but Miseducation Lauryn Hill is probably the best album of all time.
So good,
and that's it. I could talk forever about that one too.
So lyrically, pretty straightforward. Just that verse and verse chorus. No bridge or anything. That's like it's got that kind of outro. I pray you catch me repeated, but that's about it.
And just and then it goes into just how it's sung.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
repeating those words singing wise, it just puts you in that.
she's not going off on this because we know she can sing her ass off.
Somber.
But she's keeping it very reserved because there's a little bit of fear. There's a little bit of like, kind of like hope in that "Pray You Catch Me Whispering," you know, all that stuff. So there's no need for her to go off, and she's a good enough singer to get that you don't need to sing your head off every song.
Yeah.
And, you know, they do a good job on that. Let's get into the next part here. I call this segment Song Basics.
Basic songs. You got the song. Basic songs. Do.
Wow. It's been the ongoing bit on the show
Really?
that I don't have an audio drop for song basics. And I think that's totally...
Got him.
I think that's the drop.
I will take my check, please.
Okay, I'm just gonna... I'll set some music to that, and then there's the song basics. I'm so happy right now.
I'm so glad
I just got so happy right now. All right. The runtime of the song, like we said, is short, 3 minutes, 16 seconds. And it's probably only singing of maybe about 2 minutes, 45 of that.
Yeah.
It's in the key of E major, time signatures 4/4. Okay, so... Basic. Right off the bat, it starts with what you're talking about. There's that vocal with kind of like that synth thing, and they're just like doing these kind of real, kind of like, oh, all these kind of like just real simple lines. Yeah. Just drenched in reverb, and it kind of just echoes through. It's really amazing. And then it kind of stops, and then all of a sudden, boom, piano and the vocals.
Yeah.
For that first verse hit. That goes all the way through the chorus into the Pray You Catch Me, which those vocals, once again, so silky, so smooth. It's really gorgeous. Right when they get to the end of that chorus comes that little like gospel-y riff we were talking. Wow, down, down.
Yeah.
So, and that's totally like a Kevin Garrett or a James Blake kind of lick, because I think I've heard that on like a James Blake song somewhere.
They put that.
Yeah.
They love putting that soul just hidden in
Yeah.
the background, because the contrast with like their voices on top of soul, just
Right.
and their lyrics on
Yeah.
top of that, like kind of like gospel-y soul.
So it's so fitting
cool.
to put Beyonce on this, and then that instrument sounds like it's some sort of like electric piano or synth.
Yeah.
Once again, like it's something I've heard like on a James Blake record or a Kevin Garrett record before. The kick drum and the pads come in, so it's starting to build a little bit, but it never gets too big. That never gets too big. It's just enough to make that second
it kind of has
build.
like the underneath, just so it'll keep you.
It's like a kind of like a heartbeat, just very straight.
That's exactly what
it's
it is,
nothing too much. Goes in that chorus, but then you get that claps like boom, boom, and then it's doing all the chorus parts.
But even the clap too is like muffled a little bit.
It's not a huge like. It's not a huge like Max Martin like.
Yeah.
It's just a very softer clap, but just to give you that a little bit of that groove for the song. And then it hits that outro. You got the background vocals hitting that with the synth and strings. So the beat's completely gone.
Yeah,
and it's just hitting that outro all the way through. And then that's when she says the line.
What are you doing?
There it is. It's incredibly simple on the production, but it's still kind of complex.
It's necessary.
Yeah, but it's so perfect for starting this record. You're always kind of wondering, like, when you start an album, like, I know I've always thought about this, is like, how are we gonna start the song? Is it gonna be a big like number, or is it gonna be the kind of this thing that builds up into it?
Yeah.
So I want to kind of. Here we go. Okay.
Yeah.
The sound went out on the left side. So I'm glad they kind of went with this thing to build up into the next track, which is real nice.
Yeah.
Going through, I'm just going to go through very quickly. Not a lot of chords in here, but a couple. We got the chords for the verse: E, G sharp minor, E, B, C sharp, G minor, E, F sharp. Basically, you're staying most of these is staying within the key. You got a one major as the E. You got a 3 minor with the G sharp. It's got that C sharp, which is a F or I'm sorry, with it, which is a 6 minor. So all of these vary within the key. Although there's the F sharp in there, which is a 5 of 5. So for you music nerds out there, there's a little dominant. Five of the dominant there. So
yes, dominant.
But they kept it real simple, just a simple loop kind of going through the rest of this song, and they really leaned on just making the production of this song be the real star. And a lot with pop music nowadays is you just need a couple chords. It doesn't need to be too complex, and that's what I'm realizing as a songwriter and producer is like you don't need too much. You just have to have a great message and a melody and obviously great instrumental production to it. Really cool production on that. The song itself did go platinum here in the U.S., so that's over 1 million copies sold. That'd be the whole record, Lemonade. Was number 1 on multiple charts internationally. Go figure. Formation was a world tour, right? So she's popular all over the world, not just here in not just here in the States. All over. So this particular song was not a single, but once again, like we were saying, it's this like side 1, track 1 of like old LPs, like the vinyls. Like, what's the first thing you're gonna hear when you put on a song? Yeah, and then that's kind of thing that sets off for me like my favorite albums is like if you don't lead off with a great memorable tune, it's very difficult to get me to listen to the whole record. Yeah, but this one does it.
It does it because it sets you up. It's like we were saying, it really does set you up for the rest of the song, and like it goes perfectly into the next one, the next one after that, and the next one. Like it just like you have to listen to it all the way through. And it's smart. It has to be written that way because it has visually it needs to also go that way as well too. Like everything just fell together for me.
In regards to because we always do like a little popular covers section of it. I mean, this one didn't. I don't think there's many popular covers, but the one that you did show me was Kevin Garrett, the writer of the song, his cover.
I should have put that on YouTube.
Did you get to see that live, or was that just a video you found? Okay.
No, I saw that live. I saw him again in concert.
And he's been playing that at his concerts, or
because it was like Lemonade had just came out, and so like,
I see.
Then he had a concert, and so he was able to, not able to, but he played it, and so I assume he's probably not doing it as much right now, right? Like because he's opening for Oh Wonder, on the road.
He was also opening for Alicia Cara for a little bit too. So he himself is kind of picking up as an artist as well. Yeah.
But yeah, I really haven't looked at too many of the. Actually, shoot. I mean, Kevin Garrett's is going to be the one that will be the cover for me because I love him and saw him live doing it. It was also the first song he played during his concert. So
it was the opening song. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so I really like that. But I just saw that Avery Wilson, the guy that does like all those crazy runs.
Avery Wilson. Oh, well, I'll have to.
Oh gosh, I'm like gonna ruin everything in this podcast. Commercial break. Just shoot me now. Luckily, this is not long, but literally long a commercial for a 2-second like cover. Oh, now I can skip.
I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. He could sing his tail off, though. My head just went bobblehead just now.
Just like whatever, I hate him.
That kind of leads me into just a little thing I want to discuss. The YouTube cover thing has been just a total like that's like a staple of like YouTube,
It's like a Kickstarter for like a lot of people.
Really, to put up their channels and like up their production and stuff. Mm-hmm. That's so interesting to me. It's just like to build your career just singing other people's songs.
Yeah, that's how people. Yeah, I mean, think of it. Tori Kelly. That's how she got her start. Now she gets to do her
Justin Bieber, right? Mm-hmm. Or was he just more just doing his own original kind of stuff on YouTube?
He was doing cover, but he was like 2 years old. So
yeah,
and then Usher adopted him or something.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Man, he doesn't get enough props for discovering Justin Bieber. Maybe he doesn't want those props.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. He's trying to do the whole ATL thing right now.
Yeah.
Do the whole gangster from Canada.
The cover thing is just so super fascinating because people will come up with completely different ways of doing these songs.
Yeah.
The one I kind of like watching is that group called we talked about it before, Vintage Jukebox, where they take these popular kind of today songs and they basically jazz them out and play them, and that's a cool way of doing it. I like seeing the ones where people like record themselves over and over, and they like have little like Brady Bunch squares of them singing tracks.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of a cool thing to see that, but for me, it is, a little bit more refreshing to see someone doing original content too.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you guys are doing over there at with your videos. So
I love covers.
Covers are great though. You know what it needs to be? It can't be a copy of what the original is. It needs to be something
a reinvention.
Different.
Like it needs to be, the originality comes from who the singer is as a person.
Your interpretation.
Because there's just some like cool cover. My favorite cover right now is I can't think of like who even did it, but it was to the song you was dignified.
Oh yeah. Torn.
Yeah, Torn.
Natalie Imbruglia.
I have to play this. I'm gonna play it later. But I have to play this cover of it. It sounds so cool.
That's amazing.
It's a dude singing it. Like when you when you just kind of revamp it, I'm like,
that's what it is.
Torn now, but it's just a cool
when another singer takes it over, the song itself takes another meaning too.
Yeah,
and
that's why I love like popular upbeat songs. Super
slow
sad
down,
cover.
Or it's also good the other way too, when you take a slower kind of ballady song and you kind of up
and
the
then
tempo.
Bring it,
yeah. So I always like that, and it's kind this particular song and a lot of songs that you hear on the radio are, I don't want to say covers, but they're not usually written by the artist. So
#, all of Sia's songs. It's
basically all of Sia's songs are,
or any song she writes for artists. It's like, those are, you slow any of those down, you will cry your balls out. Like literally, you're gonna be crying forever.
Yeah, we've talked about Sia's stuff, and it's
she's
amazing.
She's a song writer in that sense. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Definitely is writing those types of songs, and then it's produced on top of that.
When in regards to Pray You Catch Me, what would be your kind of final thoughts as we kind of wrap up here?
Yes, it's one of those songs where like I listen to it to like get me in like that mood. I don't even like get myself in that mood, but it's like I listen to a lot of songs in that same genre. Clearly, we're talking about like James McMorrow and James Blake and all of them, Kevin Garrett, Jack Garrett. Like I love the.
What
that's
would
like
you
my,
call this genre?
I've been trying to figure this out for years.
I think it's definitely R&B. It's definitely soul. I would call it probably like electro alternative R&B.
It had to be alternative R&B.
That's like alternative R&B might be the best choice for this.
But it can get like indie too.
It's kind of indie, yeah. So it's
but when
super
it's produced,
cool.
it's like definitely like alternative R&B.
Yeah, I think it's alternative R&B. And it's really cool to see a mainstream pop R&B type like Beyonce take on this
because
style.
That's becoming popular just with like what's Tinashe.
Oh yeah, totally.
And what's her freaking name? The here, oh here, oh here. It's like Alessa, Carl, whatever.
Yeah.
There's like a huge group of girls who are like getting into that, kind of like.
And now Beyonce's coming in and
And
muscle.
Beyonce's like, you stupid bitches. I am the queen. And they're like, fine. Okay. Thank you for the opportunity, Beyonce. We'll stop singing and we'll just write for you. Basically is what she's doing.
You know, for me, this song, I'll tell you what, I'll be completely honest. The first time I heard it was just after you told me about it to check it out. And gosh, I was just so pleased because, you know, this is this type of music I love listening to. This is probably one of my favorite current genres, this kind of electro R&B genre, because I'm such a producer head and I grew up listening to R&B, so this just fits right there. And then once again, totally delighted to see that Kevin Garrett and James Blake were co-producers and writers on this is like blows my mind. It's so awesome. Yeah. And once again, just a really cool way to start this record. Yeah. And I think that's what the main goal for this song was, is like, let's set the tone and get people to understand where we're going with this particular record. And I think they nailed it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Kudos.
Well, Beyonce. Excellent. Want to take a moment here, and we're going to get set up, and we're going to have Mitchell perform a song for us.
Or a whole visual album.
Or a whole visual album that we drop.
That is...
At any point.
Any point. And we're just going to make it up on the fly. The visuals, this music, all impromptu. And the name of it is...
Something. So here we go. Take it away, Mitchell.
I wasn't sleeping at all when I saw you leaving. Kept thinking that I should have called, but you wouldn't see it. I'm up way too late again, thinking about what you said and how maybe you're trying to stall. But I walked right into the fall, hoping you mean it. Oh, now we're too far down for closure. No, can't you hear me now? It's over. And if you're going, please, baby, when you forget about me, don't be so precious about it. Don't be so precious about it. And you'll save me, but I'll find a way around it. I'll find a way around it. Don't be so precious about it. And baby, when you forget about me, don't be so precious about it. Don't be so precious about it. 'Cause you'll save me. I'll find a way around it. I'll find a way around it. Don't be so precious about it. About it. Oh. I left my heart for the road, 'cause I didn't need it. Yeah. She wanted my flesh and my bones, and I let her keep it. Oh. Am I the one to blame for what's left of me has changed? That nothing I would ever show. Yeah. Nobody knows what she knows, and I got some secrets. Oh, now we're too far down for closure. No, can't you hear me now? It's over. And if you're going, please, baby, you forget about me. Don't be so precious about it. Don't be so precious about it. And you'll save me, but I'll find a way around it. I'll find a way around it. Don't be so precious about it. And baby, when you forget about it, don't be so precious about it. Don't be so precious about it. 'Cause you'll save me. I'll find a way around it. I'll find a way around it. Don't be so precious about it. About it. Oh, about it. About it. Oh.
All right. So as we're wrapping up here, Mitchell, can you tell our listeners where we could find you online and some of the projects you're working on?
Yeah. You can find most of my stuff on youtube.com/Pac-Man. Yes, like the ghost eating, cherry eating, yellow dude. So youtube.com/Pac-Man. Instagram mjohn116. Twitter mjohn.
Great Instagram, by the way. I love Mitchell's Instagram.
My Instagram's great.
Yeah.
Twitter, same thing, mjohn116. Snapchat, mjohn116. So you can find me there. My group of guys, we're called the Gag Order, so you'll see a lot of our stuff. And then, we'll have a link for the last one we did, which is Cheat Day.
Sweet.
And then also check out another one we had, music video we produced, was for a singer, Elliott Moss. So his new music video he's going to be dropping. Check that out. Also in the same genre of like Kevin Garrett.
In the same
Garrett.
kind of electro R&B, kind of alternative R&B.
Yeah.
Dope.
So
I'm going to check it out because you were
out.
telling me about it, so I'll check it out for sure. Excellent. Well, want to say thanks to our producer, Shaun Day. He's not here today, so...
Maybe you shouldn't thank him.
Maybe I shouldn't thank him.
Maybe you should leave that
but
out.
I will absolutely thank him because
What a
he does a lot of
flake.
work for us
Not
when he
now.
is here.
I didn't see any of that.
Please rate and review the Track Talk podcast on iTunes. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe on your social media things. You can find audio of today's episode and previous episodes on SoundCloud, iTunes, and the podcast app. Videos of today's performance with Mitchell and previous performances can be found on our YouTube channel, the Track Talk Podcast. For new episodes, updates, news, and photos, follow us on the Track Talk Podcast on Facebook. We're snapping. And if you have song ideas and song facts you want to share and tweet, or you want to just tell us that we're wrong, you can reach us at the Track Talk Pod. No cast. At the Track Talk Pod. Thanks to our guest host, Mitchell Johnson.
Yeah.
Any last words to leave our listeners?
I just pray you catch me whispering. I pray to catch you listening. No, just whatever. Just long live Beyonce.
Well, there it is. And as always, keep listening to music. Keep writing songs. This is the Track Talk Podcast with Matty. We'll see you next time.
Sky.